Questions on the non-for-profit statement of activities. Just gets me excited here. I love not-for-profit and governmental. They're not too tricky once you learn them. Hope you all are having a good time learning those. And let's see what this question has in store for us today. ABC, a community foundation, incurred management and general expenses during year one. In ABC's statement of activity for the year end, the management and general expenses should be reported as what? Classification all the way, trying to understand where each item in non-for-profit goes. Classification is our favorite word when it comes to all these questions. Now let's think about this. A community foundation. What would that do? Think about, in most questions here, what does the actual organization do? This one's maybe a little more vague, right? Community foundation, but they probably put on events. They bring the community together. Maybe they host blood drives. Just, again, a lot more general than a hospital. Hospital, you know what they do. Soup kitchen, you know what they do. In this case, management and general expenses, no matter what you do as an organization for your not-for-profit activities, your charity activities, management and general expenses, those are not going to be your core activities. And we know that our core activities go into program services. If we're a hospital, expenses incurred toward providing healthcare, that's going to be program services. If we are a youth group, it's going to be putting on events for the youth. So if we're a museum, it's going to be providing exhibits. However, management in general, basically things to keep the lights on, also fundraising. These are all going to be something other than program services. Let's keep reading on. A contra account to offset revenue and support. Not that. It's just not. It's going to be separately stated. A direct reduction of net assets without donor restrictions. I mean, you could also really say, like, we don't know if it's with or without donor restrictions. I mean, that's not descriptive enough. Direct reduction, and it's also not a direct reduction of net assets. Final answer here is going to be part of supporting services. Remember, you've got your supporting services and your program services. How do we keep the lights on for the organization? By fundraising and literally paying our bills to keep the lights on. Those are going to be supporting services. So normal operational expenses that any organization would incur. However, if it's specific to what they do, again, if you're the I don't know, let's say you're I'll make one up. I've never really made one up. Let's say you're an organization that goes and rescues people when their cars break down. I've never heard of anyone doing that. It'd be really cool. Maybe one of you will go out and start that organization. However, yeah, if you're rescuing people when their cars break down, then that would be your program services, but just paying your normal bills, and fundraising, that's going to be supporting. Awesome. Let's dive into the next one here. On a non-governmental, not-for-profit entity statement of activities, also known as the income statement, right? Make sure you know the corporate accounting equivalent name for all of these statements. Which of the following amounts should not be netted together under any circumstances? Well, let's take a look here. This is going to kind of hint on our program and supporting. Also, feel free to look at the actual statement of activities. That is a great indicator of what should not or should be netted together. We'll see those for sure there. So investment income, custodial fees, and other advisory expenditures. There's nothing here indicating that it shouldn't be netted together, and just like all the ones that will be netted together, take a look at a statement of activities from a not-for-profit organization, and you'll likely see all of those just not netted together. Netted together. All right, next up, gains and losses from exchange rates or other foreign currency translations. There's no specific rule about that. Like, we very much likely will net those together because it makes sense to do so. Revenues and expenditures from the sale of used equipment. Again, we're going to net those together. It just makes sense. It makes sense to do that. However, revenues and expenditures from an annual fundraising campaign, remember, this is a supporting activity. And revenues and expenditures, the inflows and outflows because of those supporting activities, those are going to never be netted together, and you want to separately state both of them. That is going to be our last question here for our not-for-profit statement of activities. Hope you all are enjoying, and I'll see you in the next one.